Stepping up southern border protection, a local Navy ship is one of several heading to assist with immigration. One of the top admirals recently sat down with 10 on your side's Madison Pierman about the ramped up efforts.
Gravely is just one part of a phase of events that we have been involved in to support southern border operations.
Admiral Daryl Cottle is the commander of the United States Fleet Forces Command. In the last 24 hours, a Hampton Roads-based Navy ship, USS Gravely, made national headlines announcing their deployment to the Gulf of America.
All that full spectrum, multi-domain capability is kind of manifested in these types of ships. So it's not necessarily one specific mission. They're going to be doing the whole suite of things that destroyers can do.
Their most recent deployment was in the Red Sea, facing a different kind of adversary than what they'll encounter near the U.S.'s southern border. Cottle says their mission and mindset is set with educational training leading up to the deployment.
They get intelligence briefs specifically to the area in which they're operating. So to cage their brains to your question on what they're actually going to go do, there's education before they deploy.
Working closely with the Coast Guard, Gravely will conduct operations like search and seizure while working to deter illegal immigration and drug trafficking.
These ships are trained in boarding and seizure, search and seizure operations, so that could be part of this. Just leveraging that exquisite capability down there gives a great maritime domain awareness.
Cottle also says it's not just USS Gravely heading south.
We're also providing people along with the Marine Corps for no kidding border operations as well. Seabees, it could be Navy Expeditionary Combat folks.
Madison Pierman, 10 on your side.
Madison will fly out to USS Gerald R. Ford to get an up-close look at critical training exam to make it eligible for deployment. Look for coverage leading all week right here on Wavy News 10.
Howdy, y'all. This is Paul, the Redneck Thinker. What we have here is a channel to communicate. I want you folks to be thinking about the time you leave my videos. Why? Because I'm tired of people talking via what other people tell them to think. So, watch my video and enjoy the chance to think for yourself.
This is an interesting little thing that is going on. They're sending an Arleigh Burke destroyer, a guided missile destroyer, to the Gulf of America. They're sending them in there to patrol and work with the Coast Guard. Now, most people aren't being told what kind of weapon systems because all they're hearing is guided missiles. They have tomahawks. Well, they also happen to have anti-submarine warfare, anti-submarine rockets, vertical launch, ASROC, BLA missiles are used to engage submarines. And by the way, you're going to see right after this why this is important. Torpedoes. Destroyers often have torpedo tubes for anti-submarine warfare. They also have machine guns. Naval guns such as a 5-inch 127mm Mark 45 gun are used for engaging surface and land targets. Close-in weapon systems like the Phalanx and the Goalkeeper are used for point defense against incoming missile or aircraft. And machine guns, heavy machine guns, are used for close-range defense. They have a helicopter that's used for anti-submarine warfare, reconnaissance, and other missions. Sonar, towed array sonar, and other sonar systems are used for detecting and tracking submarines, and electronic warfare equipped to jam enemy radar and communication systems. That is far more important. So let me show you why that's important.
Now, Europe is facing a massive cocaine crisis, according to law enforcement agencies. Production of the drug has increased by a third in just a year after a slowdown over the pandemic. The most recent discovery meant that UK authorities seized more than a ton of cocaine found floating off the south coast. Drug smugglers are even using submarines to bring millions of dollars worth of cocaine into the continent from South America. Our Europe correspondent Nick Beak has more.
International criminal gangs are sinking to new depths to get their cocaine into Europe. So-called narco subs helping to flood the continent with the drug. This is the first submarine known to have brought cocaine all the way from South America. The 3 men on board were arrested after reaching the Spanish coast. And this is where they lived for nearly a month. It's so cramped and claustrophobic in here. For food, they had energy bars, cans of sardines. The toilet was a bag in the corner, and that was it. They had nothing else. Oh, apart from 3 tons of cocaine in the front, worth more than £100 million. Last month, Spanish police said they had detected a second cocaine submarine, again in Galicia, but any cargo had disappeared.
They are very hard to detect. In fact, in more than 20 years of traffickers using submarines to reach Africa and Europe, these 2 are the first we've seized.
Law enforcement agencies across Europe are fighting a surge in cocaine production, although they say they've just dismantled the biggest known coke factory the continent's ever seen. The Spanish police have recreated the drugs factory and the assembly line, starting with this raw coca paste. It's got a really strong vinegar smell. It would then be cooked up using lots of chemicals. It would then be pressed. Over here, they'd weigh the products that they have. And take a look at this. This is 150 kilos worth of cocaine, a purity of 95%. What you see here on this table has a street value of around 9 million euros. That's about £8 million. But it's in Belgium where the biggest amounts of cocaine are being seized, here at the port of Antwerp. More than 110 tons were intercepted in 2022. Huge quantities are getting through though, and this top judge fears it's out of control.
Ça représente donc une fortune considérable pour ce que nous appelons les narcotrafiquants.
It makes an absolute fortune for those we call narco-traffickers. With money laundering and corruption, which is now limitless in terms of the sums that can be offered to dockers, police officers and other people, how do you want us to have any control on criminal organizations? It's over.
Just this week, Italian police found 400 million euros worth of cocaine bobbing off the Sicilian coast. And the United Nations is warning that international gangs are now looking to expand into Africa and Asia. Europe's cocaine crisis is getting wider and deeper. Nick Beak, BBC News.
And you can watch Cocaine Flooding Europe on BBC iPlayer if you are in the UK and on BBC News this weekend.
Este es Juanes Costas de los Estados Unidos. ¡Alto su barco ahora! ¡Alto su barco! ¡Alto su barco! ¡Alto su barco ahora! ¡Alto su barco! ¡Alto su barco ahora! ¡Alto su barco! ¡Alto su barco! It's gonna be hard to get on! ¡Alto su barco!
Now, you saw those 2 clips. One is what's going on in Europe. The other clip is something that happened at the Coast Guard taking down a semi-submersible. These are being used by the cartels around the world, and it's something that is bringing in drugs and other things into the United States. So, being able to track them much easier is going to be a good thing. Coast Guard does not have quite this kind of level of monitoring equipment, so they're going to benefit from having this. It's the submarines that I am thinking are the more reasonable cause of the USS Gravely going to the Gulf of America. But hey, I could be wrong. They could be ready for something else. But I just thought I would show you all this. This has been Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Y'all have a good day now. Bye. So, folks, that's the story that I wanted to bring you on this video. And I just wanted to say thank you again for coming by. Hit like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff if you don't mind. Help me out. So, y'all have a good day now. Bye.